and I'm back. So, did you guys see it? Did you guys see the latest episode of Falcon The Winter Soldier? I did, and was it better? Was it worse? I don't know. Let's get into it. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
Alright, so I'm planning on continuing this kind of like 2 o'clock kick this week. Streaming, every single day at 2 o'clock. I'm switching in from 8 p.m. I feel like it's working out, Before, there was just this big gap of time where I just didn't even really have time to relax because I knew I had to do other stuff here. It's just to get off work, and I just continue doing it. So, hopefully it works out. I'm going to keep trying it. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But as always, any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World, streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at Super Dario World. Like I said, 2 p.m. This week is going to be Monday through Thursday, 2 p.m. If you want to join me, if you want to be part of the chat and stuff like that. Let's see, what else? Saturday, I'm supposed to stream with my kid brother. We're going to continue the Pokemon randomizer thing. It's getting fun. I don't know why. I think we're also going to switch up the day for that because it's a pain in the butt just to do it. First off, it's right in the middle of a Saturday, and we for some stupid reason we picked right in the middle of lunch when we always end up starving. So I don't know. We're gonna change. We're gonna do some changes there. I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know how that works out. But let's get into this because it was a somewhat interesting episode. I mean, it sucked overall, but let's just get into it. So, episode 5 of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Let me see. Where would I rank this one? Okay, overall, it's still stupid. You know what? Let's just do the same thing that we always do and just go through the whole stupid story. But yeah, I learned a serious lesson last time because last time when I did this, I kind of got in trouble because there's copyright laws and stuff like that. So now I can't play stuff anymore. So I'm just gonna do the moving fastly. So I just gotta make sure that I don't mess up. Anyway, so the episode begins with Falcon and the Winter Soldier chasing after Captain America, aka, in this case, John Walker, who kind of just killed a dude. Ah, damn it, I messed up. So he just killed a dude, and they want to capture him, right? So here is a giant mess up. So the fight was fine. The fight was okay. The big issue here, and what have I been complaining about throughout the show? What has been my biggest complaint throughout the show? That the Falcon and the Winter Soldier are basically losers. They've lost every single fight they've had against freaking nobodies. And here, they're fighting off against Captain America, and they won. So I should be happy, right? I should be happy because the biggest complaint I've had about this show so far is that they just keep losing. These are B-tier characters, sidekicks, who just keep getting their asses handed to them by random nobodies. But here they go off face-to-face, Captain America, and they win. One big issue, though. Captain America here, or at least John Walker, they want to kind of build him up to be the big bad. And rules of wrestling. The heel, a.k.a. the villain, cannot lose the first fight. he just can't. Now, all right, I'll give it to you. They did not beat him clean because there was 2 of them. 2 against 1 is not a fair fight, but still, the heel lost. The heel can never lose the first fight, all right? The villain can never lose the first fight. Why? Because they stopped being scary. By the way, Minnesota, thank you for joining me. They stopped being scary. The villain cannot lose the fight, or at least particularly the first one. Now, imagine this. I'm just going to paint you a scenario here. Imagine that John Walker had won that fight. Now, if he's going to be the big bad at the end, and he faces off one-on-one against Falcon for the shield, now you're like, holy crap, Captain America. Well, John Walker already beat both of them at once. How the hell is Sam Wilson going to do it? So now you're scared for him. That the stakes are higher. Here, it's like, well, you already kind of beat him. So are the stakes really that high? And I mean, sure, you could still kind of have that same effect. Like you needed both of you guys to beat me last time. Now it's you against me. No way, Sam Wilson. It it kind of loses that particular effect. You know, it loses a bit of the drama. And you don't never, ever, ever want to lose the drama. So, again, a beat-up villain is not an interesting villain. You want it to keep building him up. You already set him up as the heel, right? By the way, I'm not exactly sure why he's the heel here, but I know why he's the heel in this particular story, but we'll get it. I mean, the dude killed the terrorist. As far as I know, that's usually not a crime at least for law enforcement, but whatever. We'll circle back to that because it does become relevant in this particular story. But anyway, point is, the fight happens. The fight's cool. Mostly the choreography's fine, and they win. They end up winning. So terrible there. So sometimes I just hate getting what I want. Like, I wanted Falcon and the Winter Soldier to be competent and to actually win a fight against somebody. It just can't be against the villain. If it's like, how many episodes are left? I think 2. So you need a climax, guys. You need to build up to that, and you kind of killed it a little bit. You castrated the villain. It's no longer scary. Anyway, moving on. So that's what happens in the opening sequence. Then Sam Wilson walks away with the shield from there, which is what they originally wanted and what they were there for. Next, we see basically Winter Soldier saying like, hey, yeah, I'm going to go try and find Zemo. And Falcon basically giving up his wings because the wings got destroyed in the fight, and he just takes the shield, right? That's pretty much what happens there. Oh, yeah, and his sidekick from the first episode is like, oh, yeah, I'll look into seeing if I can detect the terrorist and where they went and all that stuff. So that's pretty much what happens in that scene. The next, we have the trial of John Walker, which, again, it's kind of weird because, all right, listen, what he did in public, I'm guessing was not a good thing, like a public execution. But the dude was taking down a super soldier terrorist. Like, that's like, on paper, that's what he did. Took down super soldier terrorist. Now, did it the right way? Probably not. Using the shield to almost decapitate a guy in public? Probably not a good thing. But the point is, the dude actually had a case to defend himself. It was just not used. I believe that, again, they lose a little bit of the drama. They could have actually done something there, and they didn't. So missed opportunities there. We start seeing how John Walker is actually upset. He's taken the turn like hard. This dude just took a really hard turn out of nowhere, and it started in the first episode that out of nowhere is like, you know what? Fuck you, I'm evil. Which kind of sucks. Again, it's bad writing. You're supposed to build if you're gonna have a moment where the guy breaks, you should have built up to that. Anyway, he ends up meeting Elaine from Seinfeld, and she gives him her card and says that she'll be in contact because he can still be useful. Because apparently nobody knows that he's a super soldier now, except her. How does she know? I don't really know. But all right, I'm assuming Elaine's gonna have some plans later on. We'll see. It's interesting. You know, they're setting something up there which could be interesting or it could suck. I'm optimistic there. Next, we have the terrorist going back to the scene of the crime, and for some reason, there's nobody looking out for this particular area. You know, this used to be their base, and for some reason, it's abandoned. You've heard this old trope, you know, from police officers, from detectives, like the criminal always returns to the scene of the crime. They went back to the scene of the crime, and there's nobody there looking out for the scene of the crime. Seriously? Not a single person? But all right, whatever. The point is, they're pissed. They're pissed because people keep dying, and they decide, you know what, we're gonna send a message. Now, my biggest question has always been, why do they keep following this chick? She keeps failing. Why? What? Whoops, I messed up. Why do they keep following her? Why is she the leader? She doesn't have a plan, or if she has a plan, it's not a good one. So, whatever. Moving on. Next, we have a scene with Zemo in Sokovia, the monument, and for some reason, he's ready to get captured. Now, I'm not exactly sure what happens in this particular scene. Like, first off, Zemo says that he's not going to kill the Winter Soldier, right? I don't understand why, because he hates super soldiers, but fine. Let's say that he started liking Bucky for reasons, or he has a plan for him, or whatever. Who knows? And then it's weird because Bucky, like, literally in this scene, Bucky says, Zemo tells Bucky, the only way that you're going to stop this chick is if you kill her. And Winter Soldier's like, yeah, I don't do that anymore. And then immediately points a gun at him. And so I was like, I'm going to kill you. And I don't know about you guys. Like, I seriously don't know about you guys. But if somebody says, I'm not going to kill the bad guy because that's not who I am anymore, and then they point a gun pretending like they're going to kill me, I'm like, but you just said you're not going to kill me, so why would I be actually nervous? Like, this makes no sense. Like, if they would have done it backwards, it would have made a little bit of sense, but the other way, kind of weird. So, it was supposed to be dramatic, didn't exactly feel it, and so, basically, Bucky ends up giving up Zemo to the Wakandans. Now, here the Wakandans, they actually arrest him, and they take him on a ship that, for some reason, nobody noticed when that ship landed. Weird thing, though. The Wakandans kind of wanted to kill Zemo, so capturing him, I guess it makes somewhat sense. Maybe, all right, maybe here you go. I'm gonna do a little bit of mental gymnastics here. Bucky made a deal with the Wakandans, saying, "Hey, I'll help you find him, but you can't kill him. You gotta arrest him." That sounds logical. That sounds fair. And so Zemo goes with him. Now, the thing that doesn't really make any sense... Oh, and then Bucky asks the Wakandans for a favor. The thing that really doesn't make any sense here is why would Zemo let himself get captured? You know? It's kind of weird, right? The dude has kind of, in a way, been in control of this entire situation, regardless of how Falcon and Bucky want to feel about this. Like, no, you're our prisoner. No, the dude was in control the entire time. They were in his house. They were flying on his ship. They were flying on his airplane. They were using his resources. They were eating his food, drinking his tea. So the dude was in control this entire time, and he escaped their custody. He could have escaped any time. He escaped it, and then he allows himself to get captured. They need to do something with this. All right, they need to set up, like, Zemo has a big ass major plan that needs to have some kind of payoff. Otherwise, what was the whole point? Honestly, what was the whole point of even bringing him back? So, I'm not sure if they're going to do it for this show. They should do it for this show, but at least for another movie moving on or something, there's got to be a payoff to Zemo accepting all this treatment. There has to be. Because otherwise, what was the fucking point? Seriously, what was the point? Or at least for him. I mean, the point for him, I know it was the point for the story because they needed stuff to happen, but what is the point for that character doing all that stuff? Why not just keep running away? I mean, if I have to guess, what is Zemo's big plan? He actually wanted to go to Wakanda. There's something, Zemo has a plan, and it involves maybe stealing Wakanda tech or something, but that's a big risk. It's a major risk. It's such a gigantic risk in the sense that how do you understand their tech? Do you know if you can control it? They're clearly extremely smart, and they really have high tech, and they have really high fighting skills. So, what the hell is going on? I don't know. We'll see. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. There, they set up the situation. Now let's see if they do something with it. So far, not impressed. I'm not holding my breath for it. We'll see. Next, so you see the Bucky says goodbye. And then we got Sam Wilson visiting Elijah. So for those of you who don't remember, Elijah was the dude who apparently got the super soldier serum. And then he went to jail. Well, they arrested him and they did experiments on him for the rest of his life. And this is kind of a very, 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 very stupid storyline for that particular character. So I'm going to break it down. So basically, Elijah explains to the Falcon that while he was in prison, a nurse faked his death, on paper, and that's how he managed to escape. And since he escaped, if he ever makes a public appearance or something, then he'll get killed. Now, there's a lot of major plot holes in this story. First off, if they're using you for scientific research, if they're using your body for scientific, if they're doing experiments on you or something, even after you die, they will keep doing experiments on you. They will use every last red and white blood cell in your blood, and they will experiment on it. They will use all your organs. They will use all your skin. There's not an inch of you that they won't keep experimenting on because you have a working super soldier serum inside you, and they will do their best to figuring out how it works. So that's the biggest plot hole there. Second biggest plot hole. They knew that you were out there alive. You know how we know that? Because Bucky knew you were out there. So supposedly, let's assume that the government didn't know, because Bucky technically didn't work for the government, even though he kind of does now, but all right, whatever. Bucky knew, which means Hydra knew, which means because he used to be an agent for Hydra. So assuming that Bucky learned via Hydra. All right, listen, Bucky had to learn somehow. Either it's through criminals, either it's through the government, or either it was through Hydra. So let's assume it was Hydra. So Hydra knows there's a super soldier out there, or a dude with a super soldier serum out there, and they wouldn't just either kill him or kidnap him and then use him for experiments. It makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. So that's the major plot hole number 2. The third plot hole is that if they were using a bunch of soldiers to do experiments on, and he was one of them, and it worked. Now, I don't know if you guys know how this works. I don't know if you guys know how science works. Usually, scientists tend to write things down. And so if they used a particular form, so I'm going to use, let's say I have 5 people. I'm going to use formula A on one guy, B on 2 guy, Z on guy number 3, D on guy number 4, and E on number 5. All right? So let's say number 3 survives. Oh, what formula did we use with that guy? C. All right? Let's continue working on Z and see, or let's see what happened with this guy. Is it his blood type? No. Is it his age? No. Does he have any particular conditions? So there's a lot of, I mean, if they found a working super soldier serum that worked on one person, theoretically, they should have made one that could work on somebody else. So again, plot hole number 3. And then there's this whole weird thing about they're putting too much weight on the title of Captain America, which is kind of where people are like, ugh, this is boring. Like there's a lot of wokeness going on in this show that a lot of people have complained about. And actually, this is a rumor. Well, it's a story based on a rumor, I guess, that a lot of people just tuned out of. There's a scene where cops start harassing Sam Wilson in, what is it, episode 2 or 3, and a lot of people just tuned out from there. This was another one of those scenes that you're like, dude, stop projecting stuff from our world into that world. It makes no sense there. In our world, maybe it makes sense. In their world, not really. It's really weird. Also, this guy Elijah has like a really weird argument for. All right, first off, they're putting too much weight on the title of Captain America, or they're adding a lot of really evil undertones that really don't make sense. Because we know Steve Rogers. We know what he symbolized, and so the fact that they're saying that another person can't symbolize the same thing, or that the symbol is not important, is kind of weird. And to add on top of that, there's a really weird phrase that Elijah tells the Falcon. He's like, I don't know why. I don't think that they will ever offer. They'll never make a black man Captain America, and I don't know why a black man would ever want to. So 2 things. What we know from the beginning of the show, Sam Wilson, they offered him to be Captain America. Like, the show starts with him rejecting the offer. So, all right, I mean, doesn't make much sense, but that argument goes out the window because we would have had one if he would have taken it. So he was the first option. First option didn't want it. Point number 2. They said, I don't know why a black man would want to. Now, imagine instead of saying Captain America, say the word President of the United States. Like saying, I don't know why a black man would want to be President of the United States. And you're like, that sounds kind of bonkers, because it would seem like a good thing, right? It would seem to be a good thing to take up the mantle, to use, the platform to change the world. It's like saying, you know what? The world sucks and I'm just going to let it suck. No, you got to be the change you want to be in the world, man. That's what Gandhi said. So that whole thing, weird, made no sense, and filled with plot holes, which is by far the bigger sin. So moving on, Falcon, for some reason, listens to this dude, even though he doesn't really make much sense. And we continue. This scene was long and it took forever. Boring. Moving on. So he goes back home, is trying to take care of his family, trying to fix the boat. Turns out that they can't really sell the boat because the boat's still that damaged. And now, let me talk about another stupid storyline. So, the whole thing about Falcon not being able to get a loan to fix up a boat makes no fucking sense. Like, that guy right there personally knew Stark. I'm sorry, personally knew Tony Stark. So I'm assuming he knows Pepper Potts. I'm assuming he knows Happy. I'm assuming he knows, he knows the Prince of Wakanda, the King of Wakanda, He knows a lot of people who have a lot of money. And so, first off, the fact that a superhero cannot get a loan, an American hero cannot get a loan in America, it's insane. You know what I would say if I'm the Falcon, if I'm at a bank and they won't give me a loan? all right, I'm going to go to the media and the headline's going to say bank refuses loan to superhero to save family business. You know what that kind of bad publicity would do to that bank? I'm guessing it would destroy it. But anyway, let's say if you don't want to go to the bank, you personally know several billionaires, okay? Several billionaires. And, not Ant-Man specifically, but Hank Pym, the original Ant-Man, billionaire. Tony Stark, billionaire, but technically he's dead. So maybe, you know what, let's call them. That's, you know what, I'm assuming Stark Industries, you know, whose tech I think you're wearing. I'm assuming they have a little bit of sway in banks. Any bank, whatever. Or if not, could you be like, hey, could you co-sign something for me? And you know what? I'll even top it. I'll top it a little bit more in a second. But all this storyline of him not being able to get money or a loan or anywhere, he's a superhero who knows billionaires, right? Billionaires. And not one of them could, you know, be like, hey, I'll give you a loan, like a personal loan. Or, hey, you know what? I'll buy out the business. We'll work it together. It'll be a subsidiary of mine. Like none? Seriously? How stupid do you think we are? It's stupid. Anyway, so the rest of the episode is basically just continuing on the dumb storyline of, you know what, we're going to call in some favors to try to fix up the boat or whatever. And then something interesting happens. Bucky shows up and he has a delivery from the Wakandans, right? Because Bucky has the Wakandans, I'm assuming, to make him like a Falcon suit or new Falcon suit because, as I said previously in a fight before, his wings got torn off. Now, here's what this means, and I want you to follow along with me. If Bucky went to the Wakandans asking them for a favor, that means that in all likelihood, over 90% likelihood that they used vibranium for his new suit. I'm talking 95 to 97% certainty that they used vibranium for his new suit, which means that the context of this particular suitcase are worth, if not billions, at least several million. Because vibranium is crazy valuable. So, this dude just got handed millions of dollars at least in a case. And he still can't get a loan from a fucking bank, and we're supposed to believe it? We, the audience, are so stupid that we're supposed to believe that this whole money thing is still an issue? Ugh. Anyway, the rest of the episode, like I said, it's just about trying to fix up a boat and Bucky semi-hitting on his sister, or at least semi-flirting with her or whatever, and Bucky showing him off how much of a super soldier he is. It's dumb. It's stupid. It would be okay for, you know, a scene, but literally, I think it's like half the show. So next we have John Walker with a scene with the parents of Battlestar, and he's telling him how he died, and it's a very heartfelt moment, and it's actually it's good to show the other side of the villain, you know, as well, or at least the antagonist, show him a little bit as a human and how it actually hurt him on the inside and stuff like that, and the people that got injured and how he justifies everything, you know, in his own head. Then we got a scene here with Agent 13, which they're setting stuff up. Are they setting her up to be, was she a big bad? Is she involved in all the bad stuff that's going on? Or is she still trying to help him? It's not clear. You know what? She's a femme fatale. Femme fatales are interesting. So this is a good thing. There could be a hidden storyline there. We don't know. We'll see. I'm excited for it because I like the character. Moving on, we have, again, the kids are trying to play with the shield, and they continue on with more boat stuff. And so they're failing at fixing the boat. The sister takes over, and they start, from the rest of the episode, basically they start training Sam with the shield, right? They're training him to use the shield and all that stuff because, at least in the comic books, there's several soldiers that when they tried to use the shield, they kind of injured themselves and ended up in ER because the shield is kind of dangerous. It's a dangerous weapon, and you need to be highly skilled and highly trained in using it. Otherwise, you can, you know, get killed. So they're training with that, and basically Sam kind of accepts, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. If I'm training with this thing, it's what I'm gonna do. And by the way, I simplified that a lot because this took forever and for no reason. Anyway, Bucky goes off and he's on his way to try to find more terrorists, I guess, while Sam was training, and they decide that they're gonna keep the boat, him and the sister, so they're gonna keep the family business going. Again, a whole lot of nothing. There's this training montage, which I guess is okay. It was fine. I like a good training montage. You You see Sam Wilson starting to progress. You see him starting to get a little bit better. Then we have the villains again. And so apparently the villains have gone to New York and they teamed up with the dude from episode 1. You know, the nameless dude who kicked Falcon's ass on the first episode? Well, they teamed up with him. So at least we have one villain. We have 2 villains that haven't lost yet. So, okay, that's a little bit of tension there. And they decided to team up. And here's something weird. For some reason, the girls' crew are like not okay with working with criminals. And it's like, dude, you're terrorists. you're criminals. Why is this such a... Why? I mean, I think she even points it out. Like, why is it weird to you guys? We're criminals too. So, all right. She sends out a ping. And for some reason, in that ping, every single person in that park starts activating themselves. It's weird. Honestly, I don't really understand how their network works, but whatever. And so Sam's... Oh, I'm sorry. I kind of messed up here. All right. And so Sam's sidekick basically decides like, hey, he contacts Sam and he's like, hey, we got a ping. We have maybe a lead on where they could be. It turns out they're in New York. And so Sam, because there's going to be a big meeting of the new council, for CRG, the Reconciliation Council or whatever. I don't even remember what the name is because they weren't really that important. And they're arguing, what are we going to do with all these refugees? Blah, blah. Again, that storyline, beyond stupid. Doesn't make any sense logically. It logically doesn't make any sense of how things would work. Like, I want you to imagine this. You're living somewhere, and then all of a sudden, half of the population of the world disappears. And so let's say that they invite you to come over to the big cities because we need people there. And so instead of you living out there in, I don't know, the desert or whatever, we come over to the big cities so we can consolidate our resources here and everything. You're like, okay, so you take over an apartment of somebody who disappeared, and you're there in that apartment, and 5 years later, boom, suddenly the person that disappeared shows up. And the person that disappeared is like, hey, what the fuck are you doing in my apartment? And you're like, you fucking disappeared. And he's like, no, I didn't. Well, it's been 5 years, you're gone. I don't know how property works, but get the fuck out of my house because I live here now. All my stuff is in here. And then cops show up and they kick you out. I don't see that happening. All your stuff is in there. And there's a few I believe there's eminent domain laws. There's a whole, I guess in other countries it could be different, but at least in America, it makes no fucking sense that they would kick you out. It makes more sense that the people who reappeared, they would get kicked out. That makes way more sense logically. It's like, hey, you weren't here. You're gone. The other people here, they have jobs to do. We need them. They're part of our infrastructure. They're part of our society. You guys, while we loved you and everything, you were kind of gone. So we will find a way to bring you back in. We'll find a place for you. But they would be the refugees. It doesn't make sense for the people who are there to become the refugees. They would have to like kick you out of where already you are. And you've already cemented roots there, and you already own property. You already are, again, you have jobs in the infrastructure. You know how things work. Imagine, like, all right, imagine you have a company, and you have an employee, and he's a really great employee. He's the best employee, but that employee leaves, and he leaves for 5 years. And in those 5 years, you hire somebody else. And when you hire somebody else, few things change. You change the plans, you change the technology, you start doing different things, you hire different people, and so all of a sudden the old employee comes back and he's like, hey, I want to work for your company again. And you're like, oh, I don't have any positions. And you're like, how about if the guy you replaced me with, how about if you fire that guy and you hire me? You might be like, well, you were a great employee back then, but right now this new guy knows how things work. He already knows everybody in here. Why would I fire somebody who's been working and doing the job just because another good employee came back? Now, when another opportunity opens up, for sure you might want to hire that guy because he was a good employee. But just to kick somebody out who's working, who's doing the job, and who apparently has kept things going makes no logical sense. I know I get it that they want to paint things and all these governments and all this stuff as evil. There could have been way better ways of doing this. And I mean extremely better ways of doing this. In fact, I would have just done, like, the refugee things are all the new people. And because it makes way more logical sense, like all these people that are displaced, they don't know what to do. Where am I going to go? My house is gone. My job is gone. My car is gone. What am I going to do with all my property? How am I going to feed my family? Because all of a sudden, we double the population of the earth. We don't have enough We're not producing food for 6 billion people. We're producing food for 3 billion people. We're hungry. What are we supposed to do? And so them trying to find a savior makes perfect sense because they're confused. The world's changed. It's 5 years of more technology, 5 years of news that we missed, 5 years of everything that we have no idea what happened. Like, it makes way more sense that way, but they wanted to do it the other way, and it's stupid, and I hate it, but all right. Okay, I mean, it's their show, and it's their money that they're wasting. So moving on. Basically, the meeting gets taken over by the terrorists, and we don't know what's going to happen there. So the episode kind of ends with Sam opening up the suit from the Wakandans and him just kind of staring at it. So it's gonna, honestly, I'm looking forward to the reveal. The reveal, I love a good reveal, especially when it's a suit, especially when it should be a vibranium Falcon suit. I'm all in. I'm excited to see it. So far, what they did with WandaVision, when they did the reveal of her costume change, was great. I'm hoping that they'll do something similar here for our boy Falcon. We'll see. And so then we got like the credits, and there's an end credit scene basically of John Walker making his own shield, like his own Captain America shield. And I guess I can, yeah. So yeah, you can see him, and he's making his own Captain America shield, and for some reason he puts in his Medal of Honor there, and well, I guess you didn't see it. So that's how that episode ends. So again, they're setting him up to be the big bad and the villain and whatever. The problem is, like I said, you already beat him up. So you already beat up the villain. That's stupid. So the only way that they could kind of save it, maybe if the end fight is a one-on-one Sam Wilson versus Captain America. Well, John Walker there, and maybe we see something there, because there could be a little bit of tension. But if Winter Soldier's there, we already know who's going to win this one, because it's an upgraded Falcon with vibranium armor and the Winter Soldier. So it's not going to be dramatic. The villain should never lose the first fight. He should never. He should win it, and he should win it clean. That way, for the climax, it'll be terrifying, because he's like, oh my god, these dudes, 2 of them, couldn't even beat him. And now it's Falcon one-on-one. Did he train enough? Is this new vibranium suit going to be dramatic? Is it going to have the desired effect? What? Can he do it? You know, I mean, we already know how it's going to end because it's Marvel, but it'll make it a little bit more interesting. So, like I said, overall, they set up a couple of things that I found interesting. The reveal of the costume, great setup. I'm excited for it. I want to see it. I was like, wow, man, that's one of those things that I want to see. What they're doing with Agent 13. Is she a bad guy? Is she the femme fatale? Interesting stuff. Good. What they're doing with Zemo. Does he have a plan? Does he? I think he does. Because otherwise, he would get captured. It makes no sense. Why would he allow himself to get captured? It makes no sense. Why would he be helping out Falcon the Winter Soldier this whole time? It makes no sense. But it's all about if they're going to do something with it. Now, I think the show still has 2-3 episodes left. We'll see how it goes. There's potential there, but so far there's been a lot of really stupid stuff. And this episode was jam-packed with stupid stuff. It had stupid storylines, it had stupid explanations, and you had the villain lose his first fight. Well, first fight with the heroes. It's dumb. It was not well handled, and like I said, this show has been beyond disappointing in many ways. Many ways, particularly because it's not what I expected it was going to be at all. I expected it to be a spy show. Like, you got 2 human characters. 1 episode. All right, Sam Adams, you're saying it has 1 episode left. I gotta double check that, because if it only has 1 episode left, and this was the climax, then that was an even bigger failure than I expected. I was giving them, maybe 2-3 episodes. But dude, let me see. All right. IMDb here. What does IMDb say? Season 1. And holy shit, it has 1 episode left. Oh my god. Okay. So I don't think the show's going anywhere. I mean, unless the next episode is going to be what? It's gotta be at least an hour long. It doesn't say how long it's gonna be, but I mean, they have so many things that they need to tie up. So, let me see. You got 1 episode left. Let me see the things that are still missing. Well, you gotta deal with the terrorists in New York. Who knows where Winter Soldier is? Zemo and the Wakandans, I don't think that they have time for that unless it's only setting up his plan and they're going to do something else with it in another movie or in another show. So maybe they're just going to set up stuff. So I'm assuming they're just going to show up how he escapes and kind of what his plan was a little bit, like a hint of it, maybe at most. Agent 13, I don't know what they're going to set up there. I legitimately don't. Okay, let's go into crazy territory, all right? Let's go into wild speculation. What about, hear me out, Zemo, Agent 13 have been working together. So Zemo, Agent 13, kind of in cahoots, and part of Zemo's thing is he's infiltrating Wakanda because Agent 13 wants to steal some of their tech. Could it be that? I don't know. It would be interesting. It would be something. I'd watch it. I'd watch a movie where Agent 13 and Zemo are the villains. Why not? Screw them. They've both been... Oh, well, one got massively screwed over by everybody, including Captain America. The other guy, he's just a good bad guy. So, at least interesting. And so, I guess that could be something. What else could it be? Let's see other storylines. They're not gonna close off. They're not gonna close off the refugee storyline because there's no way they can fix that in one episode. I'm assuming Bucky's going to apologize to the older dude whose son he killed, and that's going to be the closing of his story. This is disappointing because I don't see them actually having time to deal with the new Captain America or John Walker. Well, he's not the new Captain America with John Walker, and so they need to have the big fight against the terrorists, and they're going to have a big fight against Captain America. Well, John Walker. I just don't see it. Or if they try to do it in one episode, it's going to be too much. Oh yeah, Sam Adams. Thank you for mentioning this. Bucky and Sam should have been arrested for breaking out Zemo. But the boat was more important. Yes, that stupid fucking boat. I mean, this was your... Oh, you know what? Thank you. This was the second to last episode, and we spent over half of it on a fucking boat. Fixing up a boat. Now, the training montage, I can kind of understand it. Rocky did the same thing. There's a training montage before you meet up against the big bad. I understand the training montages. I can accept it. But they were fixing up a stupid fucking boat that they should not have been fixing up because he could very easily get the money because he knows fucking billionaires. All right? I can... Ugh. The show is garbage. It's hot fucking garbage. It makes no sense logically. It's added nothing to the MCU. Nothing. Absolutely nothing whatsoever. So maybe the one thing that actually came out of this is that, I don't know, Bucky got a little bit of closure. Or you know what? Falcon got a new suit. But that could have really happened off screen. Seriously, it could have happened off screen. And I know a lot of you are thinking like, well, it ended up with, Sam accepting that he's the new Captain America. Newsflash. The way Endgame ended, we assumed that he was going to be the new Captain America. So all these things that we saw have amounted to zero. Maybe let's say that okay, they broke out Zemo or whatever. That could have also happened it took them 2 seconds to do it. They could have done it in the beginning of another movie or something. Maybe, okay, I'll give you something that's happened. They've reintroduced Agent 13, which I think was a good thing. So there's potential for something there. They introduced a power broker, which I'm assuming it's Agent 13, but whatever. So, okay, there's something there. Other than that, I don't really see it affecting the MCU at all. Like, honestly, mostly irrelevant. This show has been mostly relevant. And a big chunk of it has been spent on a fucking boat. So, and you know what's the worst part? They didn't even go out fishing. I like fishing scenes. I like the scenes where they're out there, out in the sea, and they're working with their hands and they capture stuff, and it's like, that's interesting, at least it's fun to watch on camera. But a montage of them trying to fix machines that I don't really know what to do, it's like, what's the point? So, overall, this show has been Bucky and Falcon looking like losers, getting their asses kicked by random nobodies, then them beating the new Captain America, even though it kind of ruined the new heel. It was massively thrown out. You know what? This show sucks. I was a little bit hopeful that they had a few more episodes to do something with this, but now I'm just pissed off because it's been a massive waste of time. You know what? Watch Invincible instead. Invincible is actually a great fucking show. And you know how good Invincible is? I did not want to do reviews for it because I really don't have much to complain about. The show is actually good. The storylines are good. The fights are great. And so the consequences are really high. And they're setting up so many villains, so many storylines. And so it's like, what am I going to complain about? It's just going to be me really happy about a show that I watch. So, you know what? Fuck this. I'm done. Fuck this show. I'll do one more. Maybe, you know what? Odds of it actually turning things around on the last episode, I'll say there's a 1 in 10 chance that they actually do a good ending. 1 in 10. But, not holding my breath. Anyway, that's it for today. As always, any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World Streaming, at Super Dario World Streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at Super Dario World. I'm doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 2 p.m. this week. If you want to join me, tomorrow I'm doing a Taco Tuesday with my brother, and will be reviewing Welcome to the NHK, which is a great show. It's fun. It's about conspiracy theories. Highly enjoy it. It's weird, but it's a good weird, and it's one of those shows that listen, like when my kid brother watched it, it's like, I gotta go get a job, and so it actually changed you as a person. So it would change them as a person. But anyway, that's it. That's all. I'm done. I'm getting out of here. What else am I missing? So yeah, 2 p.m. I'm trying the new thing. Let me know what you think about the 2 p.m. stuff and doing it a little bit earlier. I feel like it's better, for me. I don't know how it is for you. So let me know what you think there. As always, thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next time.